To find the slope of each line, you want to write it in slope-intercept form first by solving for y. So this first one is in slope-intercept form, so the slope is 3. Number 2, I have to divide both sides by y, or 2. So when I divide x by 2, it's actually going to be 1/2 x plus 3/2. So my slope is 1/2. Okay, number 3, I'm going to solve for y, so I have to subtract x. So the coefficient of negative x is -1. So the slope is -1. Number 4, it's already in slope-intercept form, so the slope is 1/2. Okay, for graphing the line 5, 6, and 7, these are all in slope-intercept form, so I don't have to solve for y. So number 5, I'm going to start at 2, and my slope is -5. So I'm going to go down 5 and right 1 and connect. Number 6, the y-intercept is -3, and the slope is -1. So I'm going to go down 1, right 1, or up 1, left 1, and connect. Number 7, the y-intercept is 0, and my slope is 3/2, so I'm going to go up 3, right 2, and then connect. And then 8, 9, and 10, find the x-intercept and the y-intercept. So remember, to find the x-intercept, you're going to set the y equal to 0. So if I have 2x equals 4, x would be 2. So the ordered pair is going to be 2, 0. To find the y-intercept, I set x equal to 0. So I'm solving negative y equals 4. So y equals -4. And then I connect these two dots, 2, 0, 0, -4, to make my line. Next one, to find the x-intercept, you set, crossed out the wrong one, you set y equal to 0 and solve. So x would be 2, so it's on the x-axis, 2, 0. And then to find the y-intercept, you set x equal to 0 and solve, so it's going to be 0, 3. So my ordered pairs are going to be at 0, 3, and 2, 0, and I connect. And number 10, to find the x-intercept, you set y equal to 0, so it's on the x-axis, x is -3, y is 0. To find the y-intercept, you set the x equal to 0, so you have 0, -3, and then you just connect the two dots. -3, 0 is on the x-axis, 0, -3 is on the y-axis, and then you connect. Evaluate for each of these. So g of -1 means that you're going to plug in -1 in for x. So when you do that, you just need to put it in parentheses, okay, and do order of operations. So this will be this will be -2 minus 3 plus 1 is -4. And then g of 3 is going to be -2 times 3 squared plus 3 times 3 plus 1. And this will be -8. Okay, then 13, 14, 15. Write each in point slope form, and you're given the point and the slope already. So in point slope form, this will be y minus 3, because the y is opposite, and the x is also opposite. 3 times the quantity x plus 2. Number 14 will be y minus 5 equals the slope, which is -1, times x plus 1. 15 will be y minus 6 equals the slope, which is 1/3, times x minus 5. So the x and the y both are opposite, because in point slope form, the formula is y minus y1 equals m times x minus x1. Okay, 16 through 19, we're talking about horizontal and vertical lines. So I use the acronym HOI and then VUX. So this stands for horizontal lines have slopes that are 0 and have equations y equals a number. The VUX stands for vertical lines have slopes that are undefined and the equations of the lines are x equals. So in this first one, it's a horizontal line. So when you read a horizontal line, I'm automatically going to write y equals. And what does y equal? Well, in an ordered pair, the first number is in your x, the second number is your y, so the answer is going to be y equals 4. Number 17, vertical. So VUX, vertical line is x equals 2. 18 is going to be y equals -3. 19 is x equals 5. Okay, 20 through 23. So you're writing the slope of a line. So the slope of a line is going to be y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. And then you're going to pick one of those points and write it in point-slope form. So in this case, the slope is 3 minus 4 over 2 minus -1. So that's going to be -1/3. So I take this slope, and you can take either point and write it in point-slope form. So it's going to be y minus 3 equals -1/3 times x minus 2. So the next one, I'm going to write the slope. So 6 minus 5 divided by -2 minus 3 is 1 over -5. So -1/5. So I'm going to pick this point and do y minus 3 equals -1/5 times x. Oops, it should be y minus 5. Because the y is 5. So y minus 5 equals -1/5 times x minus 3. Okay, 22. The slope is going to be -7 minus -5 over -2 minus -1. So this will be -2 over -1. So you want to simplify that. That simplifies to 2. I'm going to use this point and do y plus 5 equals 2 times x plus 1. And then the slope over here will be 7 minus 6 over -1 minus 4. So that is going to be 1 over -5. So -1/5, I'm going to pick this point and do y minus 6 equals the slope, which is -1/5, times x minus 4. All right, and then write the equation in standard form. So standard form, you want to have x and y on the same side, and you want to clear fractions. So you can clear fractions in the beginning or at the end. I'm going to clear fractions in the beginning. So by clearing fractions, I'm going to look at all of my denominators and multiply by the least common multiple of 3 and 9. So I want to find a number that you can divide by 9 and 3 and get a whole number. So I can multiply all of this by 9 because I can divide 9 by 9 and get a whole number, and I can divide 9 by 3 and get a whole number. So when I multiply the numerators and I divide the denominator. And it doesn't matter what order you go in. You can do 9 divided by 9 and then multiply by 2, or you can do 9 times 2 and then divide by 9. So either way, 9 times y is 9y. 9 times 1/3 x is going to be 3x. And then 9 times 2/9 is going to be 2. So standard form, you want to get x and y on the same side. So I'm going to subtract 3x. And really you want x to be positive. So I've changed this to a positive, which makes 9y negative, which makes this positive. Okay, 25. I'm going to clear fractions, so I'm going to multiply by the least common multiple of 5 and 10, which is 10. So this is going to be 10y equals, now I'll slow down for a little bit, but it goes 10 divided by 5, which is 2. 2 times 2 is 4. So this will be 4x. And then this will be 10 divided by 10, which is 1. 1 times 3 is 3. So then I'm going to subtract 4x, so I get negative 4x plus 10y equals negative 3. And then divide everything through by a negative. So it's 4x minus 10y equals 3. Okay, and the last one, I want to think of a number that I can divide by 12 and 3 and get a whole number. So that number is 12. So I'll multiply both sides by 12. So it's going to be 12y equals 12 divided by 3 is 4. 4 times 4 is 16. So it's 16x. And then 12 times 1/12 is just 1. So I'm going to get my x and y on the same side. So I'm going to subtract 16x from each side. And then I'm going to multiply everything through by a negative, because that makes my coefficient of x positive. Okay, identify whether or not the relationship is a function. Then find the domain and range. So I'm going to try the vertical line test for this, and it's not a function because there's two ordered pairs right here. The domain is going to be all the x values. So the x values are 0. See right here, x is 0. So this ordered pair is 0, 1. This ordered pair is 0, negative 2. This ordered pair is 1, 2, 2, 1, and 3, 4. So my domain is going to be 0, 1, 2, and 3. My range is going to be negative 2, because that's the lowest y value, 1, and 2, and 4. Okay, yes, this one's a function for 28 because each x has one unique y. There's not two arrows coming out of one. The domain's going to be 1, 4, 5, 7. And the range is going to be 2, 3, 6, 8. And then 29, yes, because all of these x's have a different y. So the domain is negative 2, negative 1, 0, 1, 2. And the range is going to be 5. Oops, I'll write these in order from least to greatest. 0, 4, 5. So it's okay that the y's repeat. You just can't have x's repeating. And how can you determine whether or not a relationship is a function? So definition of a function is each x has one unique y value.